So for some reason, school just decided to crap on everyone. And personally, me and Brooke are struggling just a little bit. So are you? We're going to talk about that. And also, we just figured out what we're doing with our college life and what we're going to major in. So we're also going to talk about how we figured that out today on the Tea on College. Slay!
So
I was gonna say I'm Brooke. I'm not Brooke.
you're not Brooke. It's okay. We're all struggling this week. Not gonna lie. I'll have Sarah take it away with our little therapy session of we're struggling a little bit. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. First of all, happy Friday, everyone. Second of all, what is going on?
Literally.
I was talking to all of my friends and I tend to overbook myself. We talked about this in a couple episodes ago with everything
A
that I'm
little bit.
involved in, just a little bit. And I'm okay with that, but I also know when the time comes when everything starts piling on each other and deadlines come up, that things get to be a little bit hectic, which I'm like, that's fine. It's okay.
It's
We can live with that.
it's hard though. But yeah.
Yeah. Apparently everyone is feeling it. So, Brooke, how are you doing?
Not gonna lie, this week, so we do like a little FaceTime call before, and she goes, Brooke, how are you doing this week? And I was like, honestly, I'm really trying my best. Like, I don't know what it is about this week. Like, if someone has an answer in the like, please comment it. Like, I just don't know. I'm not a believer in astrology, but if it has something to do with astrology, let me know. Like, I'll start getting into this because I'm really, really struggling this week.
Well, literally, like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like I'm thinking, like oh, my homework has pretty much stayed the same
No, it
in
has.
a lot. Yeah, in all my classes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only thing I have to say is I just have a little bit more events going on and stuff.
Like, it's more like social, and that's for me at least. It's
Yes,
fun.
yes, no, and I like enjoy that. That's what gives me my life and my energy to do stuff and to
Yeah.
keep going and to do my homework. But at the same time, it's a struggle right now. A lot of stuff is due for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, my thing is like, okay, so I have a calculus test coming up February 15th.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, I can't eat chocolate alone on Valentine's Day. I have to study for calculus that day, which is kind of sad.
Aw, you
Um,
and calculus.
I know. I'm
Aw,
really loving and
just like the
living.
best relationship you guys have.
It's really toxic actually, and I'm thinking of breaking up with her. So, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
She's
You
done.
got
She's
this.
done. We're all done with calc. But it's okay. I can't drop it now. I've come this far. Anyway, so it's in I said 15 days. It's not in 15 days. It's in less than 15 days and I'm like have like a little like a little doomsday countdown. I haven't erased it yet because it says 15 days still. And I'm really struggling with the deadline because I'm trying to push myself to like, oh yeah, I'll like do this amount of work. And
Hmm.
then every time I just get so frustrated because I don't understand what I'm doing. Like
Mm,
everything I'm understanding. So I'm just
hmm.
like sitting there and I'm like, are you serious right now?
Hmm.
Like, just and just that countdown is really like, oh, it's like just another
See,
few days.
I don't know why you're doing a countdown. Personally, for me,
Not
the
gonna lie,
countdown
it's
doesn't
not really
start.
helping.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like no offense, I love you, but sorry, I just realized how much I just kind of crapped on you for right there.
No,
I
you're
don't
all
know
good.
why
You're all
you
good.
do a deadline.
No, you're good. I honestly don't know either, but like I was like I feel like I was being a little too lazy. Not like lazy, but just like I
Mm,
wasn't doing what I wanted to do. So I
hmm.
needed like a little countdown to
Hmm.
like get myself moving, going on the
Yeah,
material.
yeah,
It's not been. It's like stressed me out a little bit more, so I'm thinking of just erasing it. So,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay.
When a week comes, I feel like a week is everyone's pretty much okay, I gotta start doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 4 days is really when it amps up. What do you think?
Depends on the subject. Like for econ, I'd say that's about right. But for like calc, I feel like it just has to be a little sooner, like a little like two
Hmm,
weeks is when you like really get going on it.
I respect that. I respect that.
But it's just the material is a little bit harder than what I'm used to, and not gonna lie, not a lot of it makes sense.
Calc just doesn't make sense for people.
Like, if I'm being completely honest, and this is like like no filter. Like I don't really know what calculus is. I know I know how to find stuff. I know what antiderivatives. I got a B in calc, like almost a B plus. So we're chilling. I know how to find stuff, you know,
Mhm.
but I have zero clue why I'm finding it, you know?
Mm.
So I'm just struggling like a little like what am I doing? You know, like
Like, what am I doing with my life? Where is this going? Type of
how
thing.
about yeah, how about you, honey? How are you like feeling with life, classes? What's how have you been doing?
Um,
Great.
for me, it's just like go, go, go. So I went through, I was doing recruitment for sorority for Greek life. And
Mhm.
that all happened in the span of a weekend. And I was telling someone, I go, ever since that weekend happened, loved it. It was great meeting a bunch of women and stuff. But at the same time, threw me my schedule off so much because I didn't get anything done. And two, it was like 10 hours in one room just recruiting
Okay.
people. So it was like, it was a drain. So that happened. And then I like had last week. So I was like trying to catch up. I've basically been playing a game of catch up ever since then.
Yeah.
And so, and then after that happened, I also am rushing to business frets. So
Woohoo!
literally,
AK Psy!
woohoo,
You guys should all
woohoo.
join Alpha Kappa Psi. It's so fun. Best experience of my life.
Yep, yep, yep.
Anyways,
So
go on.
I'm, oh no, sorry. So yeah, so I'm rushing DSP and AK Sci. Those are the two business frets we have at LMU. And yeah, with those events and stuff, it's been good because I've been getting, I mean, like I have a lot of friends in both of the frats. So for me, it's just
Yeah.
a social aspect and just getting to know more people and learn about them and learn about the brotherhood, which we love. I love. So but that's the thing that has been taking my nights pretty much every single night. And then last weekend
Yeah.
I went home, so I also didn't do any work last weekend. So this week I've been staying up till 4 a.m. trying to catch up on everything, applications for the frats, for my sorority, try to get my regular homework in.
Yeah.
So someone actually got our accounting homework deadline extended to Saturday, which was nice. I know. We love Terry Wang. Thank you, Professor Wang.
That's so whenever they extend deadlines that like they have a special spot in like wherever whatever they believe in afterlife, special chair is reserved for them for those that
mhm.
extend the deadline.
Mhm.
So
Well, it
thank
was
you to our
great.
professors.
We love those professors. And she was like,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to extend it because I guess people on Rate My Professor were like changing, like we're giving her bad reviews because she was saying that she was changing the deadline. She goes, she's like, it hurts, guys. Like, come on. And so we're like, no, like we won't do that to you and stuff, please. And we were thinking we are gonna just she was just gonna extend it another day. She extended it another day until 11:59 p.m. And I
That's
was
like two
like,
days.
and like, yeah, thank you. Thank
So
you.
have you seen like videos of like where the president's like on the campaign trail, like, thank you so much? I feel like those
No,
professors deserve like everyone to be like clapping, like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And it's just like, I'm so like,
oh yeah, and
you
they're
know,
just like, That's me, everyone.
that's
I
me, yeah.
extended your deadline." So yeah, um, I f- I'm trying to think. So much has been happening. I swear, when this stuff happens, I have no choice but to just go. It's got to get done. So like for me, if anyone that knows me, I get very annoyed when people start complaining about all the stuff that they have to do. Like I'm usually pretty peppy, pretty positive and stuff. The moment that you start complaining and you start taking up 10 minutes of my time and your time just complaining about something, that's when I have problems and issues. Because I'm like, you could use that 10 minutes, you could have done like a problem on your a homework or something. Like, why are you complaining to me? Like,
Yeah.
our time is precious type of thing. So I've just been literally, to quote my sister, the grind never stops. I've been grinding like pretty much every single minute. Um,
Yeah.
the consequence of doing so much stuff is I haven't gotten to the gym, which is one of the things that keeps my mental sanity straight.
It's a lot of
So,
like work to get yourself to go to the gym because you're like, well, I'm really like
mm,
destroying, like not destroying. You're building up your body by like hurting it a lot.
destroying it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it's not it's fun when you like feel good and like I was bench pressing the other day and I was like, damn, I feel really cool.
Mhm.
But it was a lot of work to get myself to go and like I literally had to like drag myself out of bed. Like I have to go. Like it was
No. People don't talk about it. The mental game to get yourself to the gym it's
it's
literally half the battle. It's so
mm-hmm.
hard,
And then
especially
once you're
if
there,
you're
it's fine.
oh, totally, because you know you're like because everyone else is working out, you're like okay, like whatever, blah,
Yeah.
blah, but it's like together because you're like oh, I could just sleep, I could just rest and stuff.
And you're like, I'm doing this to myself, but
Mhm.
and that's okay.
Mhm.
Like it's hard to like people don't talk about this enough. It's really hard to be a student and like trying to get your life together at the same time,
Oh, well,
you
I
know?
was talking to a friend and she's like, people don't get how hard college students have it sometimes. And I'm like, why? She goes, because when you're at work, you just have like pretty much one project or maybe two projects that you're working on at the same time. It's the same thing for a couple months. Maybe the work is more intense, but other than that, she goes, in college, you're expected to not only maintain a good GPA, but perform well in your classes
And this is for a span
to
of 15 weeks that you have to like no slip ups.
exactly no slip ups. You also are expected to be involved in extracurriculars because it's not and it's just like it's literally anyone that has went through the college process of applying and stuff. It's the same process but for work.
It's insane though. Like even in high school, like I even feel bad for high schoolers. Like I pushed myself so hard in
Mm-hmm.
high school,
Mm-hmm.
and like looking back, I didn't need to. I mean, I wanted to, don't get me wrong, and I was really happy
Mm-hmm.
pushing myself, but like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but like a lot of times like I'm not going to name the job, but I've
Mm-hmm.
heard a boss complaining that they can't get their student employees to show up to work, and I'm like, well, they're like because they were like, oh yeah, they're like canceling like last minute because they're stressed. Everyone's stressed. And I was like, well, student employees have like a different type of stress, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
we have grades, we have to take care of ourselves like mentally. We're on our own for like the first time. And then we have a job on
Mm-hmm.
top of that. Like that's a lot of work. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, personally, I don't call out unless I'm like deathly ill and like dying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also me. I know some people can't handle that. And I feel like everyone just deserves a little bit more grace with that, you know?
I mean, I totally get that too, but at the same time, it's
It's like
I
you
don't
didn't
know.
sign up for it. Yeah.
That's yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's like you did sign up for a job, you knew what the hours are going to be.
Yeah.
It's like overbooking yourself in college. Like you did like I have a friend who works at like a really nice restaurant and stuff, but she tells them she goes, I have stuff going on in college during this time, this time, this time. I'm not available during this time, but I am available during this time, and this time. She's like, I can't take she goes, I have to take this week off because I have this going on at college and stuff, which I think that's completely fine, like making it work, but I don't know. Personally canceling because you're stressed when like for
Yeah,
me
that one I will
obligation
say.
comes first, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, for me, it's again like obligation does come first, but I also think that like everyone deserves a little bit of grace. And I do
Oh
know
yeah.
people that do call out like, oh, like during the summer, like and no one's working, no, or everyone's working, everyone has a job, and you're in school, or you're not in school. My bad, I meant
Mhm.
you're not in school. People still call out because like they're stressed or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that one I don't get. But like if you're in school and you've been struggling all week, and like you, if you give them like a day's notice, yeah, that's fine. I feel like
Mhm.
it's the hour before that bothers me, but like that's also because we have to pick up the slack and then,
Mm,
that's it's
mhm. It's yeah, but like just like what you said, it's hard. Like school, job, and extracurricular activities. It's
yeah.
crazy.
It is. And I feel like when you're done with it, like during the summer, I'm like, wow, that was such a fun semester. I had a great
Mhm.
time. I don't really
Mhm.
remember how hard it was, like in the middle of it, like,
Mm, mhm.
like dragging myself like through a semester. Like not in like I'm not let me rephrase this. I'm not dragging myself through a semester. I'm having fun throughout the semester. It's just there's a lot of work that goes into it, and I tend to forget about that. And then I'm like,
Mm,
new semester. Oh my god, I'm like so fun. And then I'm like, oh, it's actually a lot harder. Like it's really hard. Like
mhm. But do you think college is maybe more manageable just because one, you're doing activities that you actually enjoy rather than activities in high school that you're like, oh, this is going to look good for the
yeah,
college apps? And also, two, you're not in classes much, so you're able to learn to fit make a learning schedule that fits for you.
I will say, yeah, I will say honestly, like college classes are harder than high school classes, but
Mm.
college life is easier to manage than high school life.
Yes.
Because you don't your classes are broken up. You get to choose your own schedule. It's not the
Hmm.
7 a.m. When classes start at 7 a.m. for high schoolers, we like that's not okay. Like in my mind, I'm like, they're struggling more than I am. Like,
You remember I remember going to bed. I remember full day, wake up at 7 in the morning, go to class,
yeah.
go to volleyball practice until 5 after class, go home, do homework, eat. And like I had like three AP classes and I would stay up until 1 or 2, usually 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I would do it all again and wake up at 7 in the morning again. And
I
like,
have no idea how I did that. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I was in several AP classes. I did tennis. I was on mock trial. I remember having tennis practice from right after school until 5:30. And then from 5:30, because mock trial started at 5. So I was always running late to mock trial. They knew that. That would
Mm-hmm.
go until like 7, 7:30, sometimes pushing 8. And then like you have to edit your scripts, you have to edit your opening statements, your closing statements, your directs and crosses, whatever. So
Hmm.
this goes on to like 9, 9:30 because you want to get it while it's still fresh in your mind. The attorneys like literally just gave you their notes.
Hmm.
So 9:30, you're starting your homework. AP classes, that's like an hour each at minimum. And
Hmm.
I'm thankful that I had block schedules. So like it wasn't like I had the full, you know,
Oh, I did.
like I'm really glad I had that actually.
Yeah.
And so I remember like I was going to bed at like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And then I wanted like a spare like 30 minutes. I'd be on TikTok for 30 minutes. I'd get to bed at like 3:30, wake up at 6 so I can get to campus ministry because campus ministry was early in the morning and then it alternated to campus ministry and ASB. And I'm like, how did I do that?
No,
Like,
yeah.
I was
Like,
literally like dragging myself through high school. And I look back and I'm like, oh, it was so fun. I was always with my friends. Like, and I was like, that was like so hard.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. But
But
then I'm
with
like,
that
is
being said, oh,
yeah.
sorry. Go on. No, no,
No,
no, no,
no,
no.
it's
Ignore
okay.
that.
It's
Ignore. No, no,
okay.
no. No, no, I want to hear what you got to say. I want to see. Little. My bad. Go
Oh,
on.
I was just gonna say, but like now, even being like as involved, do you feel like the reward, even though like you're working pretty much the same that you did in college and you're involved as much as you were in college, you feel the reward is a little bit more because you know you're doing it for yourself pretty much and for your own satisfaction?
Yeah. And that's why I'm also like, college is a little, yeah, I will say that exactly. Because college now feels like I'm actually doing everything I want to do for
Mm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm not working for a college app. Like, not that I ever did. I did everything I wanted to do because I wanted to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why I got involved. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a little like it is more rewarding. That's what I will say. It is more rewarding because you are doing everything for yourself and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing all the activities that you personally want to do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
I would say yeah. Like I'm in a sorority, and that's really not gonna like, you know, if
Yeah.
you hold a leadership position, like I just applied for health and wellness,
You're
but that's
networking.
big. But what?
You're networking.
Oh, yes, as yeah, Brooke
Business
likes to say,
business terms.
business terms. But no, I just applied for like health and wellness chair over there, which I enjoy doing. Like I like health and I like that whole aspect. I like doing my marketing internship because that's I'm learning skills that, never was able to learn before. I like my major. I like accounting. Um, I like, you know, accounting society. I like investing society. I like being able to work with those people. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I'll be more involved in a business route if the one of them will take me. Um, and yeah, it's just like it's just more rewarding because it's stuff that I actually want to do. And you could say that, oh, it's for resume building, it's for resume building at the end of it. But I feel like college is really I had good advice from someone who was like, if at least at the very least if you don't like the work you're doing, at least like the people that you're doing it with.
That's real. I like that.
And so it's like, okay, maybe I kind of like something just like a little bit, but if I at least like the people and I really enjoy working with
Yeah.
them, then I'll like stay for it, and that's where I'll get my satisfaction because that's my social life. So.
I really like that quote.
Me too. It's
That's really good.
Chris Wilson, everybody. Chris Wilson at Loyola Marymount University. That man, he's done so much. And I literally was like, how do you balance all your extracurriculars? And he's like, he goes, for example, my day started at 8 a.m. today and ends at 10. God, that's so crazy.
That's a
He's like,
long day.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well,
But
speaking of long days, how are you feeling about your major that you chose?
oh dear God, love it.
You love it? Me too.
I love it. It's just okay. Would you like to start off with your little story of how
I
you got?
would.
Hmm.
So, I've shared this before. I wanted to go to law school. I was going to be Little Miss Brunette L. Woods and legally brunette, y'all. And I was like, I'm going to law school. I'm going to double major in econ and poli sci because I want to go to corporate law because I loved working corporate law cases in mock trial. That was my reason, which I feel like is a good reason. Like there are some
Yeah.
people that choose majors just because it sounds cool.
Mm.
I had a reason behind it, and I felt really cool about that.
There
But
you go.
I take a poli sci class. I'm like, ooh, this feels like everything I did in high school. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I take another one. I now have had 3 poli sci classes, and I'm like, you know what? Not my thing. I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
the material. I love reading it. It's so fun. It's such an interesting subject to read, but it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt such like not accomplishment, but I just felt so good about myself when I was able to like understand economics. Like it just felt so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I want to keep reading about this. And the more and more I'd read, I was like, wow, this is really interesting stuff. I want to spend more time doing this than I would be reading poli sci material. And that's where it kind of started. And then David Card came to Gonzaga. He's an economist. And I went to it and I was like, this is where I'm like, I'm still poli sci double major with econ with a Spanish minor. And I'm like, you know what? Like it'll be fun. Like I'll just hear what he has to say. And I literally called my mom after and I'm like on the phone crying. I'm walking back to my dorm and I'm like, I found what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like the way he was talking about economics and like what his theory was and everything, it felt good and it felt like it just felt fun. And like that's what I want to do with my life. Like I want to research for the study of economics. I want to be a research analyst.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's kind of where my career went. But I want to hear about you. How did you land on accounting? That's because that's not where you started.
Oh no, babes, that was political science. I was on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you will. Um, yeah, no, I want to
Poly major dropouts, but like we didn't drop
drop
out. We just
out.
changed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
wanna, what's it called? You said something, or it was like you were crying, and I feel like when you found out that you wanted to do economics, and you're like, I found what I want to study, and I feel like maybe for some people who are listening, it's like, dear gosh, like you're crying for
like
your
like you're
major.
being dramatic.
Hmm. Hmm. But here's the thing, it's like people who have gone to college, when you get to college, for a lot of people, unless you're doing pursuing a master's, this is then. Like, think about it. You've been in school for the past 18 years doing the same thing as everyone else, and just now you have 4 years to figure out maybe what you want to do. And
It's a
even
lot of
then,
pressure.
it's a lot of pressure. And even you go to college, the amount of people that I've talked to who are like, oh yeah, I like it was just something that I was good at or whatever, and I'm not even doing that for the rest of my life and stuff. Or people who I know who are graduating, the seniors I've talked to who are I said, oh, so where are you going? And they go, I have no idea. I don't know what I want to do still. Like law school, corporate law, blah, 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 blah. I take one poli sci class, love the professor, so sweet, so nice. I'm like, this isn't for me. And I also was having trouble with the idea of reading. One, I don't read. Like I do not read unless it's like for business.
Maybe
Now,
we shouldn't. Maybe for our majors. We read for our
well,
majors.
I read for my major basically,
Okay.
and
Okay.
also romantic comedy. Those are the genres that I read. Um,
All right. I love it.
and yeah, yeah. But like for me, it was very hard to read because in the liberal arts, you read
A
enormous
lot.
amounts of pages, like 80 pages sometimes for
A
just
night.
one, yeah, just one night, one class. And so for me, I'm not a fast reader at all. If I really want to understand something, I have to actually take my time reading it. So for me, that means I had to skim stuff. And even then, I wasn't understanding some stuff. So I was like, I also didn't like the fact that it was all kind of like theory based. There was should have been a warning, but I get when I told my dad, I'm like, "Hey, you want to know what AP like tests I passed that it's going to transfer into college?" And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Science and math." And I go, "And here I am going into political science, which is a liberal arts major." And he goes, "Ooh, maybe not the right major." I'm like, "I don't know, we'll see." So that was like the first
Red
like
flag. It was a
red
yellow
flag.
flag. Yellow
It was
flag.
yellow, yeah, not a red flag. It was a yellow flag of maybe not the major for you.
Orange flag.
Orange, that's a good one. Orange
Mm-hmm.
flag. So I go and I take a poli sci class, not for me. And I was always playing with the idea of doing either film, doing like a trifecta of film, law, and business somehow. I really wanted to be a film major originally. I applied as a film major, didn't get in as a film major, but I got as a poli sci major. So I was like, well, I'll just transfer into film. Turns out you can't transfer into film as at all at
But that's actually
LMU.
really important to know. Not every major you can
Yes.
transfer into.
Yes,
So,
yes. And so I didn't know that. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to stay in poli sci. But at the time I had also been getting to know some people. I was like, okay, well, I'll just transfer into business because I'm like, well, that was like the other thing. I'm like, and I've always kind of like been like, can I ever transfer into business type of thing? Um, so I was always, it was kind of always in the back of my mind, like I'll transfer to business. And so spring my freshman year, I was talking to a couple professors and I was talking to a couple of friends that were already in the business school. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do finance. I'm gonna be a finance bro with a minor in comp sci. I ended up dropping out of comp sci because I don't know, I
oh,
couldn't
I
figure
remember
out
you taking the
Python.
one com sci. When I came and visited, you're like, I need to do my com sci stuff, and I was like, oh, looks hard.
Oh no, yeah, Brooke was there when I was like, this isn't for me type of thing. So I was like, hey, I'm not gonna do that. And then I talked to a couple professors who are already like in like most of our professors that are in business are working right now. Like
Hmm.
they either work in accounting or they have their own firms or something. Um, and even they said they're like someone was like an econ major, someone was a finance major. And they're like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I either want to start my own business and stuff, like probably in the future. I go, or, like work in the finance field. And pretty much all of them said, if you want to start your own business, or even if you want to start in the finance firm, a lot of them were like, wish I would have done accounting. Because what you learn in accounting, the skills that you learn in accounting, is the foundation of finance, basically. And
I
it's like,
didn't
if
know
you
that.
want
That's
to,
that's good to know.
yeah. So that's, if you want to go into finance, accounting is the good way to go if you
Accounting
want to do
minor
that.
or something, yeah.
Yeah, no, like literally, a lot of people are trying to add accounting minors because it's really important. Um,
Assets
and
and liabilities.
assets and liabilities, baby. We love to see it. We
Mm-hmm.
love to see it. So that's why I was like, okay, like I'll do accounting and stuff. So I just go into accounting. And even like last semester, I was like, whatever, accounting, blah, blah, blah. But then I had a mindset shift and I was like, okay, I could see this as a major that's
Interesting.
just stable and that is just going to get me a job and is going to be a good ROI and be able to help me pay off my student loans. Or I can start looking at majors as skill sets and the value that those skill sets have. And the minute that I started doing that and seeing what skills can a major give me, that's when I was like, okay, you can't really learn accounting unless you're in school. So already there, the value in that. And then also the skills that you learn with accounting of just like literally talking to people who are in audit in the accounting industry and they go, I know how a business runs now just by auditing people's financial
Wow.
statements. Yeah. And so it's like it and then like of course finance, evaluations and stuff, you have information systems is your ability to read data analytics well. And so it's like with you if you start for me when I started looking at my major as something that is really valuable and is more of a skill set, that's when I just really saw the value in it. And that's when I really was like, okay, I could find the fun in this. And also I find myself when I'm doing other homework, I'm like, I wish I was doing accounting, which is a good thing. So
I have the same thing with econ. Like when I'm in a what's it called? I'm in a biology class right now. It's like a core class. Biology is not for me. I'm not a science girly. Um and where's it going with this? Oh yeah. But every time I'm like doing something for biology, I'm like, oh, I wish I was doing econ right now. Like that'd be so much more fun. Like I just wish I was like spending a little more time with something. And that's always a good sign of what you want to do, like your major. For me, picking my major, it came down to what I'm passionate about. And like Sarah said, it comes down to passion and like what you want to do with your life. And you also have to think about like the major you're choosing, it does have a direct like what you want, like your job type of thing. Like you're almost picking your job at 18, 19 type of thing. Wow, that's so young. I'm not going on a tangent about that. No, we're not doing that. Anyways, so how did Sierra, so when you said that you picked your major for accounting, it was because you saw a skill set.
Yeah, well, that was like a little bit after the fact, that I had chosen it already. But I think there's multiple ways you can find what you like. One, passion, obviously, like things that you really, when it gets hard, that you're willing to work it out. That's when you know that's something that you want to go through and continue. If a professor talks to you and they have some like we have a professor who worked at one of the big four accounting firms, and he came up to my friend and was like in the like second or third week, and he was like, yeah, you should be an accounting major. So if a professor with credibility, like, and substantial
PhD,
knowledge, comes up to you and is like, you're really good at this, don't just,
believe them.
yeah, like, actually don't just take that with a grain of salt. Like, that's really important. um and I think that's pretty much
We're
it.
not the experts on this. Like,
No.
and I don't think anyone can be an expert on picking your major because there's so many benefits to a variety of majors. Like liberal arts majors, you really learn how to read material for, and that preps
Hmm.
you for things like law school.
Hmm.
And that's why I wanted to be poli sci major because it would really prep me for law school. But I don't want to go to law school anymore, so that's why. And I want to go to get a PhD in economics eventually. You know, sign
Yeah,
my life away. Um, to a bank sounds fun.
I
Sounds
love
like a
that.
great career path. But you know,
Hmm.
I chose that because I'm really passionate about the subject, and I think it's again going to shape my like it's already shaped my life to where it is.
Hmm.
It's become my personality. Maybe
Hmm.
don't choose a major based on like shaping your personality. That's my advice, but I didn't follow it. So, you know what? You like honestly, choosing a major is such a hard thing to do, but once you find it, it just makes sense.
Hmm. Best thing to do, and I feel like everyone says this, but really, if you can, really try as many different classes as you can, not only in just your college, but in different colleges.
Especially, and I want to say this to like people in high school. Try out every class. Like any elective that
Mm.
sounds interesting, you could find your passion in that. Like,
I took video productions because you have to have 1 year of creative thing for in high
mhm,
school. And even though I'm not doing that now, and it's probably not going to be my job, this is what has come from it. And this is like my creative outlet and something that gives me joy in doing. So even if it doesn't turn out to be, what you're doing for the rest of your life, a lot of people these days now have side hustles, now have a hobby that they're working on, and just stuff just for like
yeah,
self-fulfillment. One of those electives might just very well be that.
yeah, that's a really good point. I like that. Yeah, try it as much as you can.
As much as you can, guys. As much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, like literally, I wanted to learn how to write for a paper, so I joined the bulletin, do stuff like that. Like even if it's not a class, like join extracurricular activities that sound interesting. You
So
know,
at the end of the day, Brooke,
it's the little things in life that keep us going.
she did such a good job. That was such a great quote.
That is actually our quote of the day, and you know, it is the little things in life. We are approaching midterms. We're approaching a really hard part of college, and we love it. So you know, take time for yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and that's what I really want to leave you all here with, our 5 viewers.
We love
Hi
you.
mom. I
We
think
love
my
you
mom's like
guys.
number 4. um no, like literally make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like, it is so important to take time for yourself, to take care of yourself, especially when you're going through a really hard time in college. And yeah. So with that, I'm Brooke and this is Sierra, and we are the Tea on College. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you all.
I love you. Have a great rest of your week. You got this.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below how you chose your major.
T.